Hi, I'm Sean, and I want to talk about Bruno. This is the first of a series I want to do on the Disney movie Encanto, looking at its heroic messages and really trying to understand the lessons that this movie can teach us. After watching this movie like 100 times with my family, I've really come to understand its brilliance and why it's such an important movie for this specific period of time in history. But first, let's talk about Bruno. So the first thing I want to say about Bruno is that his gift is not that he can see the future. He can see the future, but his gift is that he exposes people's frailties and weaknesses and their vulnerabilities to them. Bruno is a lot like the ghost of Christmas Future. He shows you the terrible truth about yourself that you don't want to look at. And everybody in the movie knows this. His family knows this. The people in the town know this. The entire song, We Don't Talk About Bruno, is all about people recounting the different instances where Bruno has told them things that they don't want to hear. There's the town people talking about the time where Bruno told them that they were going to get old and go bald and get fat and that lady's fish was going to die. And in Camilo's verse, he talks about how Bruno is 7 feet tall, which is obviously an exaggeration, and there's rats all on his back, which actually turns out to be true. And he also says that Bruno feasts on your screams, and then the townspeople sing that line where they say, your fate is sealed when your prophecy is read. So Bruno definitely has like almost this Grim Reaper type persona in the movie, and that's sort of how people see him. And all that sort of comes to a head when Bruno has his final vision with the cracks showing up in the casita, and Madrigal is there in the vision as well. And when that happens, the family makes a decision together. They all decide that they are going to commit to the safety that is provided inside of the utopia of the Encanto. And they're all going to prioritize that over dealing with or confronting the fear of the vulnerability that Bruno has exposed. And they actually go even a step further where they expel him from the family instead of reconciling or integrating the fear that they have about the vulnerabilities that he's exposed. Their fear is more powerful than their love for Bruno. It's actually terribly sad that this happens because their uncle, their brother, their son is driven out of the family and has to go live in the walls of the casita with like a dozen rats. And everyone in the family, except for Madrigal, knows that he's there and is committed to ignoring him. And this is where we get to one of the central messages of Encanto that I really like, and I think is very important for everybody to hear right now, is that it is the family's willful blindness to the vulnerabilities that Bruno has exposed that is their cardinal sin. And it is their willful ignorance and their failure to confront that vulnerability that is what brings down their house, literally and figuratively. And this is such a crucial message for all of us to hear right now, that we have to voluntarily confront the things in our life that we know are painful, that we know are uncomfortable. It's hard work to do this, it's terrifying and it's dangerous, and all of those themes are shown in the movie as Madrigal and the family have to go and confront the vulnerabilities and the fear that Bruno has exposed and eventually integrate him back into the family. But the reward of doing all of that, as we see, is that they're able to build a structure, a cultural and familial structure that can actually shield them and protect them from the terror and the tragedy of the world. So if you have a Bruno living in your walls, and we all do, you know what to do after watching this movie that shows you the process of going through it. They act it out, and this is exactly what stories do, is they show us how to be the best versions of ourselves and how to act out that hero's journey. So like I said, this is the first of a series of videos that I want to do on Encanto. I think this movie is just so rich in the messages that it has for us right now. So that's all for now, but stay tuned and always do your best. See you later.